Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing coming at you live from the great state of Florida. Seasonably nice out here with temperatures of 62 degrees at a 9:34 a.m. on the 8th of January in the greater 2023 area time frame of our life, right? And if we look at the Bitcoin price, which everybody gives a shit about, we can see not a whole lot's been happening since the last update yesterday morning. We are still sitting at the 16,000 and change. The 15,375.14 is your major underneath support, because if you break that, as you do know, we feel we have another one of these patterns going on where you have a dump, the flagpole, the flag, the technical target met, right, on the breakdown. Then we had an exact another one of those, big dump. You can see the red driving candles down, another flagpole, flag, and then targeted move, which would hit this $13,336 Bitcoin price. And the prediction was made when the Bitcoin price was in the way back machine. If we go back there, we love the way back machine, don't we? And that prediction was made way all the way back here in the great pump, the bear market pump. From here, we had a 50% dump from when old Vincenzo made the prediction that we were in a rising wedge and topping out in the bull market, and the bear market would start right there where you can see that little green circle, and it did, and we had a 50% dump. Then we had this falling wedge, the opposite of a rising wedge. A rising wedge is a topping out bullish consolidation, but a bearish reversal at the top of the wedge, and it starts out very wide at the entry where you have support and resistance, and then it gets tightened as you go through into the future, and you have uptrending lower support and uptrending upper resistance, and you have about a 90-degree right angle, but it's facing upwards, right? And then it tightens up and it breaks down, and that's where the bear market started right here. And then we had a 50% initial dump in the first about 3 months, and then we had a falling wedge where you have descending upper resistance, descending lower support, facing at an angle downward, wider at the beginning, and it tightens up into that V-shape or duck speed consolidation, and then it breaks bullish. And we expected that, but we expected it to be a classic double top where it came right up into here and then broke back down and did what it's doing now. The markets often do stuff that nobody expects it to do. Made one more beautiful, strong consolidation to get everybody in, all the big institutional investors that they could get in at a massive hype and the massive amount of money, the massive amount of projects going up 10,000%, the massive amount of fleecing, the massive amount of heisting, and the massive amount of shysting by the criminal gangsters and the orchestration of the manipulated markets that were at bay, and the paid promoters and the Sam Bankman-Frieds. $32 billion gone, wiped out, vanished. Your money's gone. 3 Arrows Capital, bankrupt, your money gone. Major exchange, major. FTX, biggest exchange, second biggest exchange. The 32 billion gone, wiped off the market. BlockFi, like the 5th biggest exchange in the world, gone, bankrupt in 2022. 3 Arrows Capital, a hedge fund, gone, bankrupt. Celsius, a major exchange, bankrupt, gone, all in 2022. And last year was the year we dubbed crypto, the year crypto nearly died. This year, old Vincenzo's going to make a t-shirt that says 2023 year of capitulation, right? We're going to have that shirt done by the end of the week. I got nothing but time while I'm down here in Florida, and we're going to design the Bitcoin. You're hearing this is breaking news while I'm in Florida. Old Vincenzo is making a hoodie, 2023 year of crypto capitulation, right? And that's where we're going to start selling shirts to get the awareness going on in January of 2023 to let everybody know what's happening. But then the market pumped more than we thought it could. And it allowed those companies that we just said to go to their massive heights before the great dump and all the bankruptcies as the 2022 went on, right? So then it had the final pump, which formed the classic double top. It looks like a mountain, but it's a mountain double top. We've went over this extensively. And you go from the top to the bottom, and that targeted move is what got us down here to this $13,300 Bitcoin price made back in 2021, right? And now it's 2023. And where the next one more drop down in this bear market, and this will be hit, and that'll conclude And this is how far out and out on its own this prediction was. To make that targeted move happen, that had to be from its top in the hype cycle an 80.5% fall. I'm the only one that would predict that back then. Then as the price started getting into here, you started seeing like Garth Soloway's and the big time influencers start to say, yeah, we could go down to about 15 or 16,000. Well, that's funny. Old Vincenzo's been saying we could go down to 13,000 since we were up here. And then we've had even lower targets. And now we've adjusted in on our lowest target that we feel for this year, as we feel we're going to have a $3,365.39 bear market bottom, or attempt to bear market bottom if that's possible in 2023, right? So that's what we got going on there in the Bitcoin price. Very exciting. A lot of things going on there. Same thing with XRP as we wrap this up. We had XRP, the same thing, talking about for years last year. And we went into how this was going to be a multi-year bear market. How XRP puts out 1 billion coins a month. That's 1 billion of dilution into their own company, as they're not making or selling a product and adding in those shares. That makes it harder and harder to pump the price higher and higher. That is exactly why in a hype cycle that was 100 times bigger than 2018, with all these coins, the Shiba coins, the Doge coins, and all the rest of this nonsense that was happening, right? You couldn't break your all-time highs. And you have to ask yourself, in this big hype cycle, why could you not break your all-time highs? Well, it's very simple. When you pumped here, there weren't as many coins in the dilution of XRP because it was only out for so many years. And they dump I think it's 1 billion coins a month when I read it. And they do that until 2026. So now you fast forward to 4 years later and you get into 2022, 2021, 3.5 years later at the peak. And why it couldn't breach this in the biggest hype cycle, the biggest momentum, the biggest run, the most money spent on advertising and hyping on the major TV markets, MSNBC, CNN, Fox, any of the major radio stations, sports players, athletes, models, Hollywood superstars, commercials, all the bunch of paid promoters out the wazoo. Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, the fleece heister and shyster himself from Shark Tank, right? A made-up good investor. He's just an actor that plays an investor, hyping this to nonstop. Football stadiums, Staples Center, where the Los Angeles Lakers play, becomes SoFi Stadium, and now SoFi nearly bankrupt, right? Then you got Crypto.com Stadium, right? The last year's Super Bowl was the Crypto Super Bowl, where almost every commercial was a crypto, right? The peak of the hype cycle and how big this was. You couldn't get XRP to breach its old high, and that's because no matter how much new momentum you get, no matter how many new buyers you get, it's not enough to offset how many new coins there are, because you have to take that into account. Go look up. I'm not going to tell you this, because if I tell you everything and show you everything, you learn nothing. So I'm going to say something for you, my audience, to do. Go look and see how many XRP are in existence right now. And if you want XRP to be $1, you're going to have to times that by $1 and a market capitalization of set amount. And you figure out how you're going to get that much money in there, when if you look back how many XRP were in circulation back here, right, to get it up to $3.46, how many more coins there are now versus the spread of that is how many more buyers you're going to need to net to push the price past here. And then you got to ask yourself, well, C is the equation that's left over of new buyers. Where are those new buyers coming from? You need X amount of new buyers to get this price past here, right? Past here. With all the new coins that are here versus the current momentum that's in there and buyers that are in there with the biggest hype cycle in history, and I couldn't do it. How are you going to do it in the future when now you have billions of more coins here than you had here, and tens of billions of more coins than you had back there when you add up both of these areas now? Because every day you go into the future, there's that many more coins until I think it's June of 2026 or July of 2026. So that's going to make it almost virtually impossible to break the XRP price up back here. And anyone telling you otherwise than that, that they just don't understand that. And it doesn't matter how much hype there is, you can't get the price back that high. That's why I feel like in the next bull run in XRP, what you're looking for is to buy it down here, maybe even buy it down here in my bear market bottom. And that's where I would be recommending to buy it, because I look at for something like this in a bear market bottom, and then this is your next rally right there. And that would be your next spot to make your moonshot in XRP. Buying somewhere near 3 cents and selling it in the next bull run at 3,200% up, somewhere near $1.20, slightly lower than this previous high, which was slightly lower than this previous high, as we have all those new coins in existence. There's a little bit of truth, there's a little bit of integrity, and there's a little bit of obvious information that everyone sidesteps and manipulates and subverts and overts, so you don't really pay attention to what's actually going on in the truth of what pushes and moves the XRP price to its top potential. Peace and love to profitable trading.